I'm here with Tim and Jason. Tim, Jason, thank you for being with us tonight.
Welcome. Thank you for having us.
How's it going?
My pleasure. Great. Doing well. Enjoyed your film very much. Don't want to go over the whole thing because, you did a great Q&A. But, just want to find out from each of you. Jason, first, please. Was there something in the Q&A or in the film that maybe wasn't said or wasn't in the film that you wanted to get in there?
Yeah, I mean, definitely when you make a short film, I think one of the difficulties is figuring out what goes in and what goes out, and still keeping a story, a narrative that will hold the viewer. So yeah, we certainly struggled. We had a longer cut of the film, and there's certainly some holes in Matthew and Tim's story that we didn't get in, but I think the goal was to put in those things from their story that were impactful to the story and that sort of either set them on a different course or were made impressions on how they would lead their life later on, which ended up sort of leading to their forgiveness process and everything that played into that. So yeah, I think as a challenge in making the short film was the same as any filmmaker does in making a short film, is what stays and what goes. And hopefully we were able to keep it with enough of an arc so you have a story and maybe want to dig deeper and kind of pursue it from there.
And Tim, how about you? Was there something that didn't make it into the film, or maybe something that you haven't yet told Matthew that you might like to tell him soon, or something that just come to your mind?
No, not really, but one thing about this particular film that has been different than others is that they have gone deeper. For example, this was the first time that a film crew took the opportunity to come to my birthday. Usually I would have to come out to LA, come out to Hollywood or whatever, and it's actually the first time my parents let a film crew into their home. Part of the interview was done in my parents' home, which was a totally different experience as well. So they did definitely dig deeper by coming to my neck of the woods. Most people prior to that, as far as I'm concerned, whether it had to do with timing or whatever, just hadn't had the opportunity to do that. And I thought that was a good angle.
Jason, how did you hear about their story? Do you, just being here, do you have friends at the museum?
It actually all came through the Fetzer Institute, who is a nonprofit who are hosts of the screening tonight, who promote awareness of love and forgiveness, and they were working on a project with Matthew and Tim at the Museum of Tolerance, doing some outreach with their presentation that they do here at the museum. And I was working with Fetzer on a film project, and they sort of told me about Matthew and Tim, and when I first heard the story, I was immediately drawn to it.
Tim, I know you went over this in the film and in the Q&A. Your very first thought when you realized, I know you said that it was an internal moment when you realized who Matthew was. What was that thought?
Run. Get out of there as quickly as possible. Up to that point, I had never had to deal with a victim of my past escapades, if you want to call it that, on a person-to-person level. It's always been very anonymous. With the exception of the hate crime that I was charged with in 1989. And when I did attempt to approach those people, they didn't want to know. They didn't want to have any part of any sort of restorative justice or anything like that. So it was a very strange opportunity, and to me, something that just doesn't happen every day. To have a victim or survivor, however you want to refer to it, and perpetrator coming together like that, it was very, very difficult in the very beginning. I think that probably the first 2 years that we were doing the presentation was an extreme growing pains, I guess is the best way to put it. We had hardly known each other, and here we were doing this presentation together. But as a result, here we have this wonderful film.
And Jason, I want to ask you, your film is shortlisted for the Academy. Feelings?
Of course, we're excited about it, but it was really never on our radar. It was never part of the plan with the film. We just wanted to make the film, and we want people to see it. So if that recognition sort of helps that effort to get the film out there and more people to see it, then we're happy about that. We ultimately want this to be an educational tool and really get out there to schools and universities and prisons and things like that. So if all this helps, then that's great.
And right now, I know you're doing the festival circuit, and they can find the film where? Online, I'm sure, Facebook and such?
Well, the film is not available yet online. It will be eventually. We're sort of figuring all that out right now. Right now, we're doing festivals. We do have a website, facingfearmovie.com, and our Facebook page. There's a link there, and you can go there and keep up to date on where the film's going to be next and when it's going to be available on a wider scale.
Tim, just one last question. Kind of the same one I had for Jason about, it's on the short list for the Academy. The origin of the story, the process of the story, it's in front of millions of people now. How's that make you feel? What are some thoughts about it being not just, a award-winning, film on the festival, but it's an Academy, short list. That's at grander scale.
Right, yeah, much grander scale. Just like as Jason said, that wasn't the intention. I have to pinch myself. I think, the story is wonderful and great. I never thought anything like that would have come to be, and I think it's, like I said, the story is good, but I think it's down to the people who made the film that brought it so much recognition, quite frankly. And he definitely took it to another level.
Fantastic. Well, Jason, fantastic film, and Tim, don't sell yourself short. Reconciliation and asking for forgiveness, big steps. You too. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.